Story goes much deeper. So you're invited to make yourselves comfortable where you can see one of the screens and enjoy the story that is Shane and Marcy.
Shane and I met actually quite a while ago. It was, I want to say, how old am I? 26. So probably like 10 years ago, through our friend Steve-O. He's going to be in our wedding. And it was at his house, and we all used to hang out together, but then we ran into each other a little over 3 years ago, volunteering at the same place.
We were volunteering at Stray Haven, and she actually struck up conversation with me, and she pursued it further and asked to go bowling together.
Me and Steve-O and my friend Sadie, we were all hanging out like quite frequently. We were going bowling and doing stuff like that. So I don't know, I eventually got Shane's number from Steve-O, and I would text him and ask him if he wanted to come along. And he's like, I really wish I could, but I'm so busy. And then at one point I was like, he's just blowing me off. Like he's not interested. But then he sent me one text one day and he's like, don't give up on me. He's like, I'm busy, don't give up on me. Like, we'll make this work. And that was kind of like, all right, so he is interested. We can do something with this.
Well, after she showed some initial interest, I was like, all right, so this is a good time. So I asked her on a date and asked her if she'd be ready to go at like 7 in the morning. Because I had a whole day planned going up to Watkins Glen.
He picked me up at like 9 in the morning, and we went hiking at Watkins Glen. And that was a good start to the day. And then we made our way up to the wineries. I'd never been to a winery before. I was used to drinking like Red Cat at the time, so I got introduced to classy wines.
I knew it was gonna be a nice day, and I wanted to like spend the whole day with her, get as much into it as we could. So, and wanted to walk the gorge, wanted to do some wineries.
Our first date was a dream. We spent 12 hours together on our first date. So, and that's how I knew at the end of it, I was like, if I can spend 12 hours with this guy and be laughing the entire time, like that's a good sign. Like, I couldn't imagine a more perfect first date.
Just seemed so easy and natural, like it was what I was supposed to be doing. She made it easy. Made it easy for me to open up, which is kind of a hard thing for me.
And I was kidding at the time, but now I realize how serious I was. I was like, I'm gonna marry this man. He is so sweet, like opening doors for me, just a pure gentleman. And I told them from the beginning, I was like, he's different. He's not selfish, he's like kind to his core.
I pretty much told everyone right off the bat, I was like, this is really good. This is the happiest I've ever been with someone. It was really apparent from the get-go. Even from the first date, I was almost dying to get to that point where I could like tell her I loved her.
So we were sitting in his room and he was making his bed one day. Yes, the man makes his own bed, which is another good thing. He was making his bed and I was sitting on the floor watching him in disbelief because he's so neat. And I was like, I don't even make my bed this nice. And he's like, do you ever feel like you've been in love before? And I was like, I feel like I've loved people. I don't know if I've ever been in love. And I asked him the same question and he's like, well, I don't think I've ever felt this way about someone. And I was like, oh, okay. But the words were not said.
We'd been together for a while now, and I had actually been wanting to say it for a while, but I was just so nervous about if it was the right time or if I was going to scare her off or whatnot.
But I think we both kept feeling it and no one was saying it. And then actually July 4th, we were actually on the boat and it was like sunset. And I know this sounds like the perfect time to say it. And I wanted to say it so bad, but I don't know what was stopping me. I was so nervous and I was like, I don't want to be the first one to say it. But then later that night, we went inside and fireworks were going on outside. I know you'd think we'd be outside watching them, but we weren't. We were laying together and he was like, so, do you think you love me? I think so, yeah. And he's like, okay, that was it. That was it. And I was like, okay. I think he wanted to tell me, but he just wasn't sure how. So a week later, we were at his house and I just said it, and he said it back.
She met my mom right off the bat, which was important. My mom's a very big part of my life, and we have a lot of family events that we do, like cookouts and stuff, and so I think she met quite a bit of my family like pretty soon.
She told us how she'd never seen Shane smile that big when he was watching me talk to her. And that was before we said I love you, so that meant the world to me, knowing that she saw a difference in her son.
I've had the same dog since got her like maybe a few months after my dad passed away, and so she's been like my baby the last several years, and the way that she kind of treated her the same way that I do, it is kind of important to me.
The thing I'm attracted to him most is his genuine kindness towards everybody, and it's something I've always tried to carry with myself, with everyone I meet. Simple things like holding the door open for people and just manners, and just seeing him interact with other people was one of the first things that I fell in love with about him. He's just the sweetest, most genuine, reliable, caring person you could ever meet in your entire life.
Just her personality, like her very bubbly demeanor. Like anytime when I went out, she'd strike up a conversation with, no matter who it was, anyone, and that was definitely a good thing for me to conversate with other people that I didn't know. Her motivation and
our work ethic, we both connected deeply on that level. We both lost our dad when we were 17 or 18, and we both had to bust our ass right out of high school, to work for the things we want. And his work ethic is by far one of the most attractive things about him. And it's just good to know that there's you're spending your life with a man that knows that we want to work for everything that we have and we want to be proud of it.
I don't know if we ever really seriously talked about it before I proposed. I think we just both knew it was going to happen, and waiting for saving up enough money and getting her what I thought she deserved, and then finding the right date to do it.
He proposed to me. It was our 2-year anniversary. He's not super open with his feelings. And the romance thing, he shows romance in a different kind of way. He shows romance by nurturing me, kind of checking my oil and making sure everything I have or that I need is taken care of. So he doesn't show it in a swoon romance kind of way. But he told me, he's like, well, what do you think about going away for our 2-year anniversary for the weekend? And I was like, yeah, that sounds great.
I told her that we were going to be staying somewhere for the weekend, but I didn't tell her where. So we were on Seneca Lake at the windmill.
We go out for the day and we go to this car show at the windmill, and it was perfect because he loves old cars. And because he loves old cars, I love old cars. And then he's like, oh my gosh, we got to get going. I made dinner reservations. And I was like, okay.
I had no idea how long it would take to get from the windmill to where we were staying in Skinny Atlas.
So he's rushing. And I'm like, honey, why are you rushing? We'll hold our table, it's fine. Well, we get into town and he booked this beautiful bed and breakfast. And we pull up to it and we're in our daytime clothes, and we kind of wanted to get into something nice.
I didn't realize it at the time that it was more like a satellite to a parent bed and breakfast. So we had to actually check in at the main one, get your key, and then head back.
So we go get the key, go back, change real quick, and he's like, all right, we're in walking distance of the restaurant. Let's go. And I'm like, okay. He's pulling me down the sidewalk.
Little did she know I had dinner reservations on a dinner cruise.
Honey, it's okay. We won't give our table away if we're a few minutes late. And he looks at me and he's like, dinner is on a boat. If we don't get there, they're gonna leave us. We're running down the road in Skinny Atlas, not knowing where we're going, really. And we get there 2 minutes late, and they're like, Walker, party of 2, and we're like, that's us.
I had talked to the people that worked the dinner cruise and told them what my plans were, so they were really accommodating with it, and they're like, yeah, we'll set you up at a private table with champagne and flowers and all that. And
I go to the bathroom. And when I get back, the waitress comes up and she's like, do you want me to take your picture on the top of the boat? And I was like, that's perfect. I was just telling him that we should get a picture before we leave.
So she followed one of the crew up to the deck, and I was like, yeah, I'll be right up. I had to, I probably said something else, I gotta get my phone or something. So I was actually getting the ring out of my jacket.
I walk to the top of the boat and she hands me this card. And I was like, oh, this is sweet. I thought it was like a thank you for dining with us tonight card, you know, enjoy the rest of your evening. So he's walking up the stairs and I open up the card and the first line I read is, hey baby. And I was like, wait, and it's typed out. And I was like, wait a second. And I look at him and he's got a big old grin on his face. And I was like, and then he started reading and I started realizing what was happening. And of course he started crying because I'm a mess. And I just look over at him and he drops to one knee and he says my name and asks me, because you can't say it out loud. So I had to type it in a card, which was so sweet and personal to him. So it was perfect.
Hey babe, I think it goes without saying that I can't wait to see what our life has in store for us. I can't believe that I feel so lucky to be loved by someone. And I know we're gonna do great together. Not a single shred of doubt in my mind. And I love you, and I'll never stop loving you.
Thank you so much for choosing me to spend the rest of your life with. And thank you for showing me what it is to really love a person wholeheartedly without any condition. And I'm so excited to spend the rest of our lives together. I love you, baby.
It's time for Shane and Marcy to share their very first dance together as husband and wife.